So I've watched the first episode of Fallout. Overall, pretty good. I'm not a fan of the games. I've never played any of them. All I know is the central premise. It's a dystopian, post apocalyptic world that's been devastated by nuclear warfare. And so there's all these factions competing for survival and dominance. There's no central character or characters like the Metal Gear games, for example. Quick overview. I won't give away major spoilers. There's a prologue with a cowboy and his daughter. Really engaging, just the tension, clips of news broadcasts, hinting at breakdowns in communications between world leaders, and that actually it was chilling, even though it's satirical almost. And I felt a lot of empathy for the cowboy and his daughter. Even though he's somewhat famous, he wouldn't be doing tricks at a kid's birthday party if he were financially well off, and the dads at the party kind of comment on that. And so there's this like tension between social classes. It ends with nuclear destruction. Fast forward 200 years later, and then we see community of vault dwellers. Lucy, she's this Mary Sue by the book type of character. You get a sense of just how insulated and isolated these enclaves are. Lucy lives in vault number 33, and it's her wedding day. She gets married to someone in the neighboring vault, vault 32, but she's never had any type of communication with her groom to be. There's arranged marriage. They might be, for all intents and purposes, physically connected to other vault communities, but might as well be thousands of miles apart. Lucy meets her groom to be, they get married, and then things take a dramatic turn. I won't spoil it. The show moves on to its next vignette. It's Maximus. He's this new recruit, gets his ass beat. He seems to have one friend in the whole camp, part of this order. It blends futuristic military hardware with this more medieval social structure. So Maximus, he kind of works his way up despite his failings to being like a better position within the order. I'll leave it like that. And the third part of the episode, it's shorter, kind of follows the ghoul as he's known, and he is the cowboy from the prologue. Watching the promotional material, I thought maybe he would be the big bad, but it seems like he's more of a wild card anti-hero. And so the three characters, Lucy, Maximus, and the ghoul, are going to cross paths at some point. The episode kind of ends with the hint of an important figure, this kind of like unassuming guy, looks like a banker or something. He's got this dog with him, and there's a hint that there's the existence of this community or this place called the Enclave. So I don't know if that's from the games or if that's something that's been created for the show, but that's kind of like leading into the next episode and future episode. Overall, the first part of the episode is entertaining. The prologue and then Lucy's part, I think it kind of drags toward the middle with Maximus's part. The ghoul is your archetypical badass. Looks like Skullface from the Metal Gear games. The look and feel of the show really does remind me of The Boys. The first two episodes of The Boys enthralled me, but then it just kind of fell off. But I couldn't make it past the first episode of season 3. So I don't know how my interest will stay with this show. I can't really comment on how accurate or faithful the show is to the lore. Those blue work suits, the yellow stripes, arm-mounted Pip-Boy devices, and the mascot who's everywhere. I don't know the name of the mascot. I'm assuming it's Pip-Boy as well. Even if I were a fan and familiar with the Fallout games, I wouldn't really care so much as long as it's entertaining and compelling. Adaptations of video games don't need to be 100% identical to the games. Discrepancies are fine. Like if you want just to relive the stories of the games, then just play the games. Like I wouldn't waste too much energy complaining about creative choices aside from really egregious discrepancies like For example, the Halo series, in which Master Chief removes his helmet and makes his face visible. I mean, I can understand that, but things like trying to delve deeper into the political and social context of the conflict of those games, like, that's not a bad thing in of itself. I'm going to continue watching. I'm going to continue sharing my thoughts on each episode as I go through them.